to guard, I think are just fine at tackles. Like Slater, Tevin Jenkins, Leatherwood, or whatever. I think they're fine at tackle. And Penei Sewell is the one guy that they. And that's how you deal with pass rush. So where a guy like Leatherwood is just turn around and scream, "Run for your life," he sinks down into the ground and stops people. Now he's not gonna stunt anybody at the line. He's not gonna quick set somebody and they just stop moving at the line of scrimmage. So you just kind of got to figure out what the hell you may want with that. I've heard some people say guard for him. I think that's nonsense as well.
Yeah, I do too.
You know what I'm saying? Just leave him at tackle and just, see what you can get from him. Just don't draft him over somebody that you really like. But Eichenberg is fine.
After him, I got Cosme and Clemson dude Carmen as like third round guys. Maybe Carmen's in the fourth round. I watched, Christensen at BYU. I put him in like the fifth round. I didn't really like him.
Yeah, Carmenson is. So look, this is my problem. Once again with the hype shit, because everybody go, "Yo, Voch, what you think about Carman from Clemson?" And I fell asleep. And
he might develop into a starting NFL tackle.
And this the bad thing about Christensen, right? If you like a fan of him, you have to kind of figure out what order in which you want to watch the film. On him because I watched him versus the BYU sorry team opponents, and he was bad versus them. But the last film I watched on him was versus Houston, and Peyton Turner ain't no bitch, and Peyton Turner picked on his ass all day, and it was hilarious and it was very fun. And I'm not drafting him just based on that. So I mean, it's 6th round, possibly 5th round, maybe, but I'm not touching him. I'm not a fan of Brady Christensen from BYU.
Guys, if you don't dominate, you've got to really think about that, because he did the 2-year mission, so he's 24, 25 years old.
Sure.
I need you to beat the crap out of 19-year-olds.
Yeah.
I need you to. And then I watched the Alabama interior guys, too. I watched your guy Brown, and I watched Dickerson. I love Dickerson.
Yeah. Look, you don't like offensive line, but these guys will make you love offensive line, though.
I love Dickerson because he's the angriest offensive. Like, Tevin Jenkins is angry. Yeah. Landon Dickerson's angry as hell, too. Landon Dickerson, the center for Alabama, when they are in pass pro, anytime there's somebody coming right down the gut, like, in that situation, if that were Christian...
Oh my gosh. I think I just missed it again. Here we go. Are you kidding? Okay.
Christian Darrisaw, he'd be like, sweet, I don't have to do anything. Dickerson's like, which guy's getting blindsided? Like, who am I going to destroy? He's fun. Like, athletically, he's not perfect, but I think he's plenty strong. I think he can play center or guard. I think he can do it in any scheme because I think he moves well. I think he's super smart. You're not tricking him on a stunt. If Dickerson hadn't had both ankles and both knees in different years, 4 years, one left ankle, one right ankle, one left knee, one right knee, I'd have him as a lock as a first rounder. I think his tape is really good, but I bet the injuries may knock him down to the second round, but I love Dickerson.
I take him first round anyway. Let me ask you a question. Would you ever consider playing him at guard?
Yes. Absolutely.
Just watching the class or whatever, what you're gonna see is there's this trend that centers just end up being like smaller guards or whatever. So if you watch David Moore from Grambling or you watch Creed Humphrey, like they look big relatively, but they kind of small to your eyes or whatever. Landon is as big as everybody else on the Alabama offensive line. Like, he's a huge ass dude. So
I was surprised when people said he has short arms because I'm like, man, he must just play with really good forward lean because he doesn't strike me as having short arms at all.
I care nothing about the numbers at this point. If he's smoking the shit out of people on film, then I'm a roll with Landon Dickerson. Now, this ain't a Cowboy show, but if I had to make this very Cowboy particular, if I have an opportunity to draft Landon Dickerson,
at 44, I'd do it for sure.
Let me just put that dude at guard and move on my life, man. Hell yeah, just like that.
Or put him at center. I mean, be honest, you don't own this position. We're gonna see. We're gonna compete.
Oh man, best five, Jeff, best five. But yeah, I'm a huge Dickerson fan. I like Dickerson better than some of these tackles out here. So, go ahead.
Lawson Floyd, I appreciate you. He says offensive line we can get in round two. That's kind of what we're going through right now. Let's see, unknown. Can you ranked the 2020 and 2021 top offensive tackle prospects. I think that would be a mix-up of Slater and Sewell, along with, in that year, I would have said Jedrick Wills and Tristan Wirfs. And they both were studs as rookies. So I think these two dudes are probably going to be studs as rookies. Waddle and Pitts there at the 10th pick. I'm actually taking Waddle. Pitts is a freak. I'd fall in love with dudes that no one can run with. It's dumb. And Adrian, my dream is you can get Patrick Peterson and Dalvin in free agency. Slater, Grant, or JOK in the draft. What you think? Slater, Grant, or JOK? Well, you got to get either Slater or JOK and Grant, and now you're cooking with something. I appreciate you, Adrian. And Hamza, do you think the Cowboys make the NFC Championship game? I think the safe bet is no, but they got a chance. All right, your guy, Deontay Brown. That's your guy. Like him, don't love him. I think he's team specific. I think he, like his foot quickness in pass pro when he's mirroring is really good for a dude that big. Yes. And they'll do stuff where they'll have him pull around, and even in pass protection from left guard to right tackle, and pass protect that way, and he can do that just fine. But when you see plays where like they'll pull him and Dickerson, like Dickerson has to wait for. So I don't know if you would want him on a team that's running like the outside zone and we're all flowing and we gotta. I think you want him to just line up and beat the crap out of the dude in front of him. Like you want to put him in Baltimore, where we're running gap scheme, blow that dude up, be good in pass protection, be a monster, because he is a monster. He's a freaking refrigerator. Sure. I just don't know how much I would love him in the run game if you're doing a bunch of like wide zone stuff.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite players, but that's not like the team particular situation, whatever. Like it's just based on what he's good at. Because that's something else that I'm learning too, being draft analyzed dude or whatever. I no longer want to say what a guy can't do. I want to say how good do they do what they do. And if you keep him in his lane and just tell him to do what he do, that's something that's going to be incredible for you. Plus, I mean, somebody's probably going to make him lose 10. He's what, like 350 or something, 340?
I think he's like 350, yeah, maybe even 360.
Somebody going to make him get down to like 320 or something, right?
Yeah.
And then you'll kind of see where he goes from there. He's
a lot of power, good feet too.
Sure.
A lot of power, good feet.
Sure, he's like a third, fourth round guy for me. But if I can get him in the fourth round, I will gladly take that dude in the fourth round. Just kick the tire.
So he's my guy then, because I got him mid-second to early third.
I think, and I was that guy too, but then I started thinking about, okay, cool. Okay,
you start seeing more guys too. You've seen more guys than I have.
The more guys we watched. Okay, Jeff. Okay, would you take Marvin Wilson or Deontay Brown?
Marvin Wilson.
Would you take Tyreek Gillespie or Deontay Brown?
Ooh, I got him graded at the same spot. Gillespie or Brown. I'll take Gillespie. I think it'd be easier to find an interior offensive lineman.
Peyton Turner or Deontay Brown?
Peyton Turner.
So Deontay's like late third, early fourth for you. You just don't know it yet. So
that may be where he ends up.
You know
I got Peyton Turner as a second. Like I could take Peyton Turner at 44. I really like him. I might like him more than most people. I could take him at 44.
I love Peyton Turner, and I badly want to cuss people out every time they say Greg Rousseau is long and quick. I want to be like, well, Peyton Turner got an 84-inch wingspan. He
uses it,
and he's big enough to play inside, and he turns better than Rousseau. So I don't know why we even talk about this kid. Because Peyton Turner is everything that y'all saying good about this dude, plus he puts it on the film. I'm not going to say nothing else. But Deontay Brown, yes, he's one of those dudes for me. If you want to follow up on another edge guy conversation, because we got to get to Ronnie Perkins.
And I missed 2 tackles.
Peyton Turner, we can do that on another day. We run low on time. Shit, Jeff. But have you watched any other offensive linemen, sir?
Christian Carmen, Brown, Leatherwood, Eichenberg, Davis. No, I haven't. So fill me in. Fill in the blanks.
I mean, I can just tell you who to watch whenever we get up off here, but I got super chats too. I mean, you've been over there running down your guys. My people.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? I'm being selfish?
So? What you want me to say, Playboy? What you want me to say?
Content creators are selfish.
We can do what we want. The Tribe dropped 5. That rhymed. Oh, that triple rhyme. Got that? Ain't no way we're getting Slater, huh? Ravens fans here. Ravens fan, or you ain't getting Slater. Raiders, he's not getting it. Have you watched Dylan Redunes from North Dakota State?
I've not.
Senior Bowl guy. You should watch him.
I've heard that.
Dylan Redunes, his film is weird, but his Senior Bowl tape shows that he took this time off to get better. So
No.
Get his bread and bump Dak down as high as paid one more time. Frankie Franchise dropped 5. I think he dropped something on yours as well. Appreciate you. He says we cleared up cap space. We talking about offensive line. Y'all must want to talk about everything.
I do that all the time.
Well, they did. They actually restructured 3 offensive linemen, so they may not even be picking and looking at an offensive lineman because Tyron was one of them. So, Lyle too.
Who could we pick up in free agency at offensive line, or do we strictly go defense? What they're gonna do is sign every damn spot, and then they're gonna just draft them. So that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna make it to where we can run a team out today. That old quote, and then they're gonna go BBA or whatever, which will probably be offense. So that's all for me. Yep, that's all for me. All right.
I want to just shout out to Vach because I do a lot of shit at like 6 o'clock on the day we're gonna do Scoutcast, and I'm just like, hey, can we? And Vach is just like down for whatever, and he's really, really good at this, and I enjoy working with him. So I just want to salute to you, sir, and make sure everybody on my side you are following Vach Lombardi. He does good shit. He's a
My gosh, send me that second.
What is mock that had Devontae Smith falling?
oh my God.
I ain't have internet. Shit, I couldn't watch much.
Oh, see? So I feel guilty for you. You had problems, didn't you?
Hell yeah. But Jeff, I took it into perspective because it sounds goofy if I'm complaining about, oh, I don't have lights at my crib, or oh, it's cold, let me go in my truck to charge my phone. It just sounds real snobby and bratty. So it was inconvenient, but we could have been homeless, Jeff. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Yeah, that would have been worse. That would have been worse.
So, for anybody listening over there, think about your problems. It was 40 degrees in my crib. It was 19 outside of mine. So, it is what it is. But, we're going to talk some draft today, Brother Jeff. I ran into a couple topics, a couple things that were interesting to me. I don't like mock drafts. I think they're the devil.
I love mock drafts.
I think they're the devil.
I love them.
I hate in particular the simulators because they just kind of let miscellaneous people just be in like control of them. But when
I love those.
But when these media scout people do mock drafts, we should pay attention to them a little bit because they're drafting based on the buzz that they hear. So let me ask you a question, sir. I saw this mock that had Devontae Smith falling to the Minnesota Vikings, and they didn't trade up to get him.
Where do they pick? Where they at?
Like 14? Yeah.
I can see it.
Okay,
I can see it.
So cool. Let me ask you this. Devontae Smith shouldn't fall because he's small, but in your mind, do you think he would fall because he's small?
Yeah, like if you want to get Devontae Smith to 14, 15, 16 to that range, I think all you got to do is have Kyle Pitts go, have Jamar Chase go, have Jalen Waddle go, and I think your 4th receiver/offensive weapon guy,
Oh my god.
yeah, that could easily get there. Like with the offensive linemen, and then throw in Parsons, and then throw in 4 quarterbacks, maybe even 5. Yeah, that can happen because I don't know what order to put those receivers in. I really don't. If we're gonna be honest, I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know the order that you would put him in. Okay, so look, you don't know for sure that you like Devontae Smith over Waddle or Chase. But when you say that those 3 guys are better than Pitts or some of these other or some of the defenders that we don't feel great about. Now, one thing I just want to say for everybody, teams can't draft, right? So, like, teams suck at drafting. So, if Smith falls because teams suck at drafting, that's a whole other conversation. I just want to pick your brain on this a little bit.
Pitts is a stud, Vach. Pitts is a stud.
Here's a part 2 of my
Pitts
question.
is a stud. The only thing is that he plays tight end. That's the only thing that scares me is that he's a tight end.
So here's part 2 to my question, sir. I've been also seeing in those mocks consistently Kyle Pitts not getting past pick number 7. If the Eagles get Pitts at 6, I would do a choreographed hump dance in my living room. I would laugh a little bit on the inside. Have you dug deep into Kyle Pitts yet?
I have not technically studied Pitts, but I have watched Pitts while studying like 4 different DBs.
Sure. Pitts can play, but does it bother you that he's a tight end? Like, is he just a receiver playing tight end? Like, what's stopping us? First of all, I know Pitts is a really good player, but the value at tight end is weird. I know how you feel about drafting linebackers early. Right. That's how I feel about drafting running backs and tight ends early. All the best tight ends are either a product of an offense or a product of a really good quarterback. Name the good tight ends that just out here by themselves, just good by themselves. I don't think that really exists. So my big thing for Pitts, if he's just a receiver running past safeties and linebackers, wouldn't it just be smarter to get a 7th round receiver to run past safeties and linebackers like Darren Waller-esque, right? Or if he's a receiver, Brother Jeff, is he better than the first 3 receivers that we was just talking about?
No, like if you were never going to line him up in line, or you weren't going to line him up in line a decent amount, then no, I don't think he's a better receiver than any of the top 3. But like the thing about every draft conversation is, to do it justice, you have to go from like 8 different angles. Because with Kyle Pitts, I'll go back to one of the things you said. The reason you should be scared of tight end, and the reason you should be scared of linebacker, and the reason you should be scared of running back early is the positional value thing. And Pro Football Focus actually did a really good article on this. The drop-off over the last 10 years, when you just look at all the different positions, the drop-off from round 1 to 2 and 2 to 3 is its worst at corner. So that's the one that what we're saying is the league is good at evaluating corner. There's a drop-off from round 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. Sure. Same thing for offensive tackle, same thing for quarterback. At tight end, it's very small. At running back, it's literally 0. So, in theory, you would say, I don't want to take a tight end early because historically, I can find the same guy later. But doesn't that fly in the face of, we study these guys and we have an opinion? Like, Pitts can play.
Yeah.
Pitts is a beast. But history tells you no. Positional value tells you no. So I just think you got to balance all that. And then if you still want to pull the trigger, well, if you end up wrong, you deserve it because you went against data. Take that for data.
And I'm asking this though because this isn't just a Cowboy show. This is an all 32 team production or whatever. And like, just think, if you a team like the Eagles or something, I even saw like Cincinnati drafted Pitts, which would be weird to me. But I think I'd be a little pissed off. And me being a Cowboys fan, so just my personal perspective, I saw these doomsday mock draft situations because I hate it because people just put them together like that. And I think if Dallas went Pitts at 10, I'd be pretty upset about it, Brother Jeff. I would be cool at the idea of how we could use him. But think about this. What would Pitts really do for you in this offense, right? He may get like 1,100 yards and like 7 touchdowns or something. That's fair. So now you got to ask yourself, can Jarwin and Schultz not do that? You see what I'm saying? And I think they can.
Well, that's what you got to ask yourself. Is taking Kyle Pitts going to upgrade something big time? And I think it does. Like, I think Jarwin is a big upgrade on Schultz. Like, Schultz had catches and yards.
Sure.
But for me, one of the things I like to look at with my tight ends is, okay, but tell me about the yards per catch. Because Dalton Schultz is more 7 or 8, and Blake Jarwin's more 11. And is Kyle Pitts going to be 13? Like, is my tight end now going to be, my off? It's hard because our Bobby Bell, he makes a pretty good point where it's like, with the Cowboys offense, how much more efficient does Kyle Pitts make you?
Right.
You already have Cooper, Gallup, Lamb.
Yes.
Or is this redundant at some point to be like, I need an offensive weapon?
Sure.
Maybe, but damn it, he's good.
He's really good, but then here's another angle on this too. Just to put this in Cowboy land. It's for everybody, but just put this in Cowboy land. So Pitts would be interesting for us because he gives us a mismatch in like speed or something. Blake Jarwin was that dude. Blake Jarwin was a fast receiver in college that was bigger than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So he's mismatch guy. And Blake was like what, a 7th-round pick, undrafted, something like that.
Jarwin?
Yeah.
Crap, I forget. He might not have been drafted. I don't even remember.
Well, just go pick him up somewhere, right? That's right. What I think that tight end kind of should be in the league. And I think, and T.J. Hockenson was one of my favorite tight ends to ever watch film on. He ain't really tearing it up 8th overall picks worth in Detroit. Teams like the Giants, I've seen the Giants want to mock Kyle Pitts or whatever because Evan Ingram ain't doing great. Ingram's that kind of dude. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's safer. It's safer. Like if you a team, that's early or whatever, you could take Pitts at anywhere between 5 through 13, or you could just take the best defender and take miscellaneous ass tight end in the later rounds, and you'll get the same value that you get. Pitts may be better, but